So welcome back to my channel again, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you the main stuff in HTML. But before we get started, I just want to tell you need Visual Studio Code. So you don't need Visual Studio that I have been using for a while. Right now I have been learning Visual Studio C# for 2 years, and now I'm into the programming after coding. So programming is more not hard. It will get it's not hard. I think C# is more harder than programming. Like C# is more harder than HTML. I'm right now learning HTML, but like 3 years ago I've learned HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I was learning it. I stopped on CSS. I learned the whole thing through HTML, but we were like in a group, and an online teacher was telling me some stuff like no no no, but we were in a group and I didn't understand that much. It wasn't like the place where I should have gotten started with, but I first learned Scratch, and then I learned Thunkable, and then Visual Studio Code C#, which I mostly don't forgive myself, but that's okay. I still learned one more language, so I'm learning the second language, which is HTML, and then I'll learn CSS and then JavaScript. So why did I say these three languages? Look, in programming, you mostly have to learn HTML, then CSS, and then JavaScript. So why? So imagine a house with nothing, just a white, old-fashioned, dumb house. Like nothing inside, nothing outside, nothing. Like no trees or anything. Then CSS comes after HTML, and CSS adds the designs on the house and stuff. But JavaScript adds all the trees and the stuff inside the house. It's like inside the house. How should I tell you? It's like some stuff in the house. It adds the backpacks, the chairs, the food, the pencils, the tables, everything you have in your house. That's what JavaScript does. And if you get that all languages together, you will get the perfect house. The same for the website. Okay, so here we have, let's just get started with HTML. So first of all, you need to write doctype HTML with this little type inside, with this little explanation sign. Then you write HTML with the bracket and in the end too, of course. If I now delete this, it will give me mistakes, and it won't give me like mistakes. I don't know, but it will not work. Like HTML is the same as this thing, this little parentheses, and C# Visual Studio. So right now, as I said, I have been learning Visual Studio C#. That is why I'm using it as an example. I'll use it as an example sometimes, but if you don't understand, just make sure to write it in the comments. So I'll stop using it and explain it in another way. So title math. So what does this title basically do? So this title is the title. Yeah, it's a title you've all been knowing. It's a title. Yeah. So that is the title, and let me just save this and let's run this website. Just to look. So the title, you don't mean like the real title on this page. It's the title which is written on this thing. So I decided to put my title as math. And here I'm gonna be showing you right now. I'm gonna click here and it's bringing me to Google. So it doesn't have to be Google, it can be YouTube, it can be any website, but you have to write the URL. So first of all, this button, we don't need it. Okay, so you write this code over here, and why did I write here go to Google? So because it's the thing that is written here, go to Google. So then you can click on it and go to Google. So you can the person that is using this app can understand where to go. Like if you just write the URL, maybe it won't understand anything. Like the URL normally from an app is pretty long and not understandable. It has many keywords and stuff, letters or maybe numbers too. But this Google URL is pretty short. Not short, I could say, but go to Google, and that's why I will go to Google. So now the next thing that you will like to be learning, let's see, is the head. So the head, didn't I explain? No, I think no. So we write head because, like for example, just imagine which part of your body is the comes the first. It's the head, right? So you write head and this little brackets and end it with this quote. Then title math. I already explained. So now the next thing is H1 style, the color and the design. So for example, I want it to be in red, or I can change this to green, maybe. You can change this thing to any color by simply writing color and then this sign and then quotes and then RGB. What does RGB stand for? You will be wondering. It stands for red, green, blue. So red, green, blue are the colors. How should I explain? If I say the word, you won't understand. It's like an element, RGB. So RGB it's like an element, and what should I say? Like whenever you mix red and green, you get this color, and then whenever you mix green and blue, you get this color. Whenever you mix green and blue, you get this color, and then mix red, you get this color. So red, green, and blue are the main colors. Okay, so that is why it's called RGB. Next is text align font size. So text align is like where do you want your text to be? I wanted it to be in the center. So I want center. So the next thing is font size. Mine is 335 pixels. Next is um like the thing I wrote over here. I don't know if you will understand, but okay. Look, I wrote x plus 1 equals 5. I don't know, I found it pretty much a good title. You know, this title, the math, is for here. And the title I'm talking about, which is not name title, but I'm just using it as a word, is the title that it's like the title It appears here. It will appear here because I wanted it to be in the center, and it will appear red because I chose red. Okay, so then next is I could tell you one thing about this. So the difference of each one. So if I wanted to add something else, like 6, which means heading 7, like 7, which is heading 7, I couldn't do that. I absolutely couldn't. And this thing is pretty much wrong, and you cannot even use H6, H1 like 3 times or a million times. You cannot do that. It's not allowed. So there are only 6 headings, which are H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. So what are you thinking about? Why did I put this B over here? The B is the space. Okay, whenever you click enter, it shows you kind of like this kind of thing, but I forgot to open the, yeah. So here there would be a space here, okay? So now the next thing is you can write anything inside the headings. So like anything, like I don't know, explain about a book or anything. So then I wrote a paragraph. P stands for paragraph, and don't forget to close this. Tip: math isn't hard if you try loving it. That's what I wrote as the paragraph. I'll show you. Body, button. So a button, like it's the button. And I wrote click me as the name of the button. So input, type, email, and I'll show you what this thing does. Input is like the, I think the text box. Yeah, the text box in Visual Studio C Sharp. That is the text box, the input type. No, it's not the text box, sorry. It's like the label. I'm sorry. So now, let me just save this whole thing. And then we got the select button. It's not a button, I don't know. But you'll see what I mean. So I wrote some options, like option number 1, I love math, I love reading and stuff. So I'm gonna save this, Control S. And how to see if this thing is saved. So here, look, if you save it, it will appear an X over here. And if you don't, there will be a circle. Let me just do this. Yeah, this whole thing worked. And here is the heading number 1. This is the title. This is the headings. So the head 5 and 6. And this is the paragraph. This tip, math isn't hard. This is heading number 1, heading number 2, heading number 3, heading number 4, heading number 5, heading number 6, and this thing is the paragraph. Click me, it's just a button. So, like HTML is pretty easy. You just have to write like a button, like brackets with a button inside, and then inside those brackets and the button you had to write click me and done. So here's the text, here's the password, you just write something and then you just click here, and then I love math, I love reading, you just choose and go to Google, it'll bring you to Google. And that's it for this video. Make sure to be tuned in the next video.